this is Joe, and in this video we'll talk about stepping, but in the sense of how do you place your foot down. There's generally two ways of placing your foot down, okay? One is when you step to put the entire foot flat on the floor, okay? So when you step, you're putting down, let me just back up a little bit. So you're putting down the entire foot. When you step, you put the entire foot down and pull yourself forward. The other way is to what we call the heel-toe stepping, where you step, put your heel down, put your foot down, pull yourself forward. So what it would look like is like this. When you're stepping, you put your heel down, put your foot down, pull yourself forward. Heel, foot, forward. That's almost like slightly like a rolling motion in that you place, pull, place, and pull. Okay. Those are two ways to step. The one where you step with your entire foot down is generally how it's done in bagua and other martial arts. There are a number of taiji styles that do it, including the one that I follow, which is the Wuji Jingong style of Tai Chi. But more popularly, I think, in Tai Chi is the heel-toe stepping, which is fine. You can do it either way. I like the entire foot stepping. I find it to be more efficient, easier to do, faster. But if you're doing heel-toe, fine. That works as well. One thing to note, though. If you're stepping with a heel toe, okay, and let me adjust the camera to show you what I mean. Okay, so bear with me. Okay, so what people generally do is because they're not aware, okay, is when they step, please bear with me. So when they go to step, okay, their toes are too high. Okay, what I mean by that is that people go, that's too high. Why is that too high? Why do I mean it's too high? Well, you can feel it immediately when your toes are up. There's a tightness in this area of your muscles. Okay, your knee is going back, and again, that has to do with stability. So you really don't want your toes to go up because now you're introducing tension into your body. The other thing is when your toes go up, it's as if you're pushing your hip into yourself, into your quad. If you're sensitive to energy, you'll feel that as soon as your toes are too high, the energy is coming back into you instead of going forward into your opponent. You want your energy to go forward. So one of the telltale signs of being too high is the knee. You never really want your knee to go back, okay? Because now you got too much going back, nothing going forward. You really want your knee to always be pointing at your opponent. So even if I step back, see, I want my knee. When I go forward, I want my knee bent. Because as soon as I do this, see, everything is moving up. It's easy to unbalance. My center of gravity is moving up. I'm losing my root. There's no root in this leg when I do that. So you always want to have your knee pointing forward. The other thing is that rather than lifting your toes, you can step with your heel but still feel like your toes are touching the floor or touching something underneath them, okay? So when you're walking and you're stepping, see, your toes still feel like they're touching something on the floor. That gives you better stability, more energy going forward, momentum. So then here. But if I step this way, okay, my momentum is actually pulling me back. Then I have to shift forward. No good. You really, see, relax. Knee bent, toes as if they're touching the floor. Feeling like You actually want to feel like your toes are resting on something, okay? Yeah. When people do push hands, one of the favorite tricks is when somebody does this, is go underneath their foot and actually push them back. Why? Because they're already starting to go that way. So you want to feel when you go back, and if you're going to lift your toes, feel like you're still resting on something. Okay? When I'm back here, my knees straight, my toes are up, harder to move my leg back. But if I'm this way, even though my weight is here, this leg is empty. Okay? But it's resting on, now I can move it back if I wanted to. So be cognizant that you don't want to lift your toes high. Down here, you're turning, that's fine, but you don't want to go this way. Too high, too much stiffness, not enough balance. Okay, so beware if you're doing the heel toe not to lift too high. Always feel the foot is relaxed. The toes are touching the floor. So even though my toes are up slightly, in my mind they're touching the floor. So I still have that arch, the howl under my foot. So I still feel the energy circulating through. Okay. For those of you that do heel toe, try stepping with your whole foot, as opposed to heel and then toe. Try stepping with your whole foot to move. Step with your whole foot to move. Step with your whole foot to move. In another video, we'll talk about how your feet are actually turning your body. So if I step with my whole foot, I immediately turn. My feet immediately turn, immediately working. Whereas if I do a heel toe, I have to wait for them to come down before I turn. It's another way. The choice is yours. Let me adjust the camera again. Thank you for bearing with me. Try it different ways. That's the only way to learn. Okay? Just because your teacher said, oh, this is how we do it, doesn't always mean that's the best way. Try it for yourself. Feel for yourself. You should always question everything to know if you're doing it better. Okay? Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.